Yeah, Gaza, they pulled out of Gaza. They pulled out in terms of negotiating. It was too bad. Hamas didn't really want to make a deal. I think they want to die, and it's very, very bad.
Are you done with
and it got to be to a point where you're going to have to finish the job. They're going to have to fight, and they're going to have to clean it up. You're going to have to get rid of it.
So, as you just saw there, Trump gave Israel the green light to, quote, finish the job this morning after the latest round of ceasefire negotiations failed once again earlier this week. We'll give you some more details about those negotiations and how they fell apart. But first, Cenk, what's your reaction to Trump's statement there?
I think that not only is it going to lead to massive tragedy, and we'll explain in a minute how that tragedy will unfold. I think that it also is a sign that he has made a decision to not challenge Israel anymore. And I think it will also doom his presidency. So that comment you just heard there, I think has monumental impact. But let's give you the rest, and then Jules and all of us will break it down.
All right, so more details on that. Earlier this week, Israel pulled out of their negotiations. They pulled their delegation out of Qatar. The US and Israel are unsurprisingly putting all the blame on Hamas, claiming they weren't interested in a deal. Senior Hamas official Bassem Naim disputed that, saying the talks had been constructive. Here's a quote per the AP News wire. What we have presented with full awareness and understanding of the complexity of the situation, we believe could lead to a deal if the enemy had the will to reach one. More on that. Hamas says it only will release all hostages in exchange for a full Israeli withdrawal and end to the war. Israel says it will not agree to end the conflict until Hamas gives up power and disarms. The militant group says it is prepared to leave power but not surrender its weapons. That's according to the AP. But like Trump, Netanyahu is now suggesting openly that he thinks a deal is dead. This is from Netanyahu, quote, together with our US allies, we are now considering alternative options to bring our hostages home, end Hamas's terror rule, and secure lasting peace for Israel and our region. That from Netanyahu. And when he was asked what the plan is for bringing the last of the hostages home, he offered literally no ideas. Here is a clip.
What are the alternative methods to bring hostages home from Gaza?
Well, we got a lot of them out, and it's I've always said those last 10 or 20 are going to be the toughest, because Hamas knows what happens when they don't have any bargaining chip, and they really broke a deal. They broke a deal. And you're going to have to do what you have to do right now. It's a terrible thing. And I always knew that. I said, when you get down to the last one, they're not going to be able to make a deal. I think what's going to happen is they're going to be hunted down.
So meanwhile, far-right Israeli officials like Itamar Ben-Gvir are celebrating the dead deal by calling for a total stoppage of aid to Gaza and a complete takeover of the Strip. Also writing on X, quote, total annihilation of Hamas, encourage emigration, Jewish settlement. That from Ben-Gvir. Cenk.
Yeah, the heritage minister yesterday said, "Oh, you never feed your enemies. The British didn't feed the Nazis, etc." So he's saying, "Yeah, well, of course we're going to starve them." By the way, of course, not true. We do feed prisoners of war, and the Palestinians are not prisoners of war. They're prisoners of Israel. They're civilians. They did not sign up for this war. But they're promised total annihilation by genocidal maniacs like Ben-Gvir and the heritage minister. The heritage minister also said, yeah, of course we're going to come in and we're going to bring Jewish settlers in. Guys, this is not in dispute. They voted on this. They're going to try to take Gaza. They're going to try to annex the West Bank. Benjamin Netanyahu brought a map of Greater Israel to the UN a couple of years ago. They couldn't be any clearer. We are going for Greater Israel. So we're going to drive the Palestinians out. And so for a while, Donald Trump was standing up to Israel. And he was saying, hey, you know what? He cut him out of the deal that peace deal he made with the Houthis, with Hamas for exchange for one hostage. And he told them to bring their planes back. So I was like, okay, now we got a ball game. I don't know. I'm not positive which direction he's going to go. That clip tells you, no, it's over. He's going in Israel's direction, and he's saying, finish him. I mean, that's just, it doesn't get any worse. Because guys, think about the mechanics of it. It's finally dawning on some people in mainstream media what Israel's up to. Before, they were so happy to say, self-defense, you guys are conspiracy theorists, crazy, crazy, anti-Semite, anti-Semite, anti-Semite. No way, no way, no way. And now Israel's like, I don't know how much clearer we can make it. We have several ministers saying we're gonna kill them all, or we're gonna drive them out, or we're gonna take the land. And here's a map of what we're going to do, right? And here we are, starving children to death, 111 dead. Actually, it's probably higher by today. That was yesterday's number. 111 dead of starvation overall, 81 of them kids. These are yesterday's numbers. A 6-week-old baby died, a 4-pound baby girl died. And it's just going and going and going. Starvation right in front of our eyes, and they're admitting it. If we have Republican Congressman Randy Fine here, a US Congressman, saying, starve away. I mean, we have people who are saying, yeah, we're fascist. We would like to murder these people and take their land. And so the entire time mainstream media was like, no way, no way, no way, no way Israel would do that. Well, now they are doing it. And some of them are beginning to go, well, I'm out of excuses. And to be like, the ones that I've seen, the sense I got was they were genuine. They really are shell-shocked that Israel is going to do what we said they were going to do from day one. They genuinely believe that was a conspiracy theory. Israel was so moral. They were just trying to defend themselves. They had to murder 59,000 people to defend themselves. And I guess they genuinely believe that ludicrous insanity. And now, if you're gonna do it, you have to actually kill them and drive them into the desert and starve them. And we're all seeing the kids starve every single day. Pictures are coming out that look like the Holocaust. So now, are you offended? Nobody's offended, right? That's insane to be offended now, because the pictures are identical. The kids are just skin and bones. And then how do you know if they're skin and bones? Then they die because of starvation. I mean, what kind of monstrous government starves children to death? So what are they gonna do? Are they really going to do one of the most barbaric things we have ever seen almost on live television? And how much are they going to get everyone to hate Israel? This is the most mental thing I have ever seen. If you're in favor of the Palestinians, first of all, you should, because they're human beings. Of course you're outraged by this. But if you're in favor of Israel, you should also be outraged. My God, what have they done to your country? Now the whole world thinks, the most monstrous government in the world, that's not even debatable, that's not close. I mean, yeah, okay, we could have an argument about Sudan or North Korea or whatever, but right now, what the whole world is seeing is one government starving children to death. So it's about to get way more brutal. I mean, we're already at maximum brutal and they're gonna go past that. And when they do, and Trump goes, no, 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 Israel, 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 and you have to pay for it. Give me more money, Americans. Let's go, give me more money. Give it to me, give it to me. Here you go, Israel, murder more people, kill them more, starve them more. No, they're playing with fire. America at some point is gonna say, enough of this goddamn thing. You're making us morally complicit with a goddamn genocide. And you're taking my money to murder these kids? No, Israel can keep going and Netanyahu can keep going, oh yeah, poke the bear, poke the bear. But one day the bear's gonna wake up, okay? And guys, not about religion, about governments. And this government thinks it's the boss of us. And right now, it definitely is. Guys, we just sent them $500 million just 2 days ago, in the middle of stories about how children are starving to death. And you know what the vote was? 422 to 6. Don't tell me our government isn't controlled by Israel. Don't tell me that's a trope. Okay, if it was a trope, they just made it real. 422 to 6 is not complicated. And so finally, why don't we have a ceasefire? Israel says, this is my proposal for the ceasefire that Trump is backing. Give me back the hostages. Okay, of course, you want the hostages back. I want the hostages to come back. And they say, in return, the Hamas says, okay, then the war is over, right? We've given back all the hostages. You've already slaughtered as many people as you possibly can, so the war's over. Israel's like, no, it'll be a temporary ceasefire. Then we'll go back to killing you. Who would agree to that? You can hate Hamas and still say that's a preposterous deal. Two things can be true at the same time. That's a ludicrous proposal. No one in their right mind would ever agree to that. Oh, I'll give up my only leverage, here you go, and then you go back to murdering me. What part of that is a deal? Oh, I would like you to all come out in the public and hand your weapons over. And how is that going to work? Oh, here we are, we're Hamas, here's me with a weapon, boom, dead. You're gonna kill them all instantly. Who would, okay, here's the peace deal I'm offering you. I'm gonna murder all of you, and then I'm gonna keep murdering your civilians. Wow, what a great peace deal. I'm so surprised they turned it down.
I agree with you emphatically here. And I also think we're missing kind of the insidious nature of the way Trump is looking at this. Because I think more than anything else, Trump would like the US government to reflect the Israeli government. I mean, the Israeli government is authoritarian, it's ethno-nationalist, it's run by a corrupt fascist who ostensibly does have some, or at least enough support, enough political support to enact a full-scale genocide. And I think when Trump sees that, he doesn't see enough of that in the US government. And for me, I mean, the US backing a genocide, funding the bombs, saying that like October 7th and Hamas and hostages justify this collective punishment on 2 million plus people is insane. And the biggest issue here, but I think looking at the way that Trump is looking at Israel on another level, where he's proud of the work they're doing. He admires Netanyahu for being a strong man, and I think it's exactly the kind of strong man he wants to be. And that to me is equally horrifying, because we look at the Israeli genocide of Palestinians, and that's like the worst thing that we've looked at in our recent history. And I'm terrified of wondering, well, what does the Trump camp want to do, given how emphatically supportive they are of this horrifying crime against humanity? That to me is this isn't a Trumpism. This is Trump communicating exactly what he supports, exactly what he wants, and the way he wants the US government to look in general. It's beyond terrifying to me.
Yeah, for me, like, there's nothing scarier and more on the nose than saying finish the job. Like, the trope of finality, like a final solution to the situation, just does not look good. Cenk, you mentioned the congressperson who was walking down the hallway talking about letting the Gazans starve. For me, it's about, if America is supposed to be this like bright shining city on the hill and the moral authority in world politics, it's hard to pull that look off still when you're saying stuff like this and doing stuff like this. It has this whole like, it seems like Trump's just like flush it out, there will be no Gaza Strip after this. Seems like it's very cut and dry, similar to just like the way he redrew the path of a hurricane. He wants to redraw the map of the east side of the Mediterranean and just be like, yeah, this seems simpler and there will be more resort hotels. That's the stuff where it's like, item 500,000 on the list of ways that Trump and the way he's guiding America has really ruined a lot of its legacy. What's left of it, what we could convince people and get away with, so to speak. It's just sad, it's pathetic, and it's heartbreaking because people, I can't really, I've seen enough devastation. I thought after it, I was like, it'll be a typical thing where there's, after October 6th, then there will be a counterattack where the casualties will be 4 times higher than the casualties suffered by the Israeli side, and then it will end. Maybe there will be a change to the map, which is given back under some kind of ceding and increased occupation type agreement or harsher way to handle people. But no, this is worse than in my lifetime's memory, as far in my memory recently.
Last thing I'll say is, I don't know when and how the American people can rebel, because as we're going to show you later in the show, AIPAC's the #1 donor to Congress, #1 donor to the Republican leadership, #1 donor to the Democratic leadership. So the politicians are a lost cause. They're gone. The politicians will not help us, and they don't care if you're on the right, the left, and they don't care if 90% of the country, because 90% of the country agrees to get money out of politics. They don't care. 84% want paid family leave. They don't care. They don't care. They're never going to change because they're all 2-bit crooks. They agreed to prostitute themselves for campaign donations, and that's for everyone, not just foreign governments, but big pharma, oil, etc. So those prostitutes are never going to turn around, okay? So then the question is, how do we, the American people, rebel enough where we go, I can't do it anymore. I can't ask Bob and Sally in Kansas to give money they don't have to kill children in Gaza. It's a bridge too far. It's the American government kind of breaking us and saying, well, now you guys are gonna have to do something crazy. You guys are gonna have to do some sort of rebellion that I don't know how you're gonna do it, but we will not represent you under any circumstance. This isn't just about Israel. This is Donald Trump and the entire United States Congress saying, we will not represent you. We are not America first. We're not anything but donor first. So what are you gonna do about it? They're rubbing it in our face. And I don't know what we're gonna do about it, but this is gonna get super ugly. Gaza is already one of the worst humanitarian catastrophes of my lifetime. And then it's about to take it to a completely different level. And then the anger in this country, you ask Bob and Sally 1,000 times over, now give me more money to give to this government. And it's not just that you're giving to a different government, but a government in the middle of these war crimes, this slaughter. No, the American people are gonna break at some point, and I don't know what's gonna happen when that happens. Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.